Welcome to the Empower Room for Empowering Moments with your host, Timothy Hughes. Empowering Moments is brought to you by Empower Media, LLC, where we empower you, parents, and the entire community with transformative information to move mind and spirit to a higher state of well-being. So welcome to the Empower Room, and let's get started.
All right, well, welcome to the Empower Room with Empowering Moments with your host, Rev. Timothy B. Hughes, MDiv. I go by Rev.T, and we ask that you please like our page, send an emoji, leave a comment, share and follow us. We interact in the Empower Room twice a month on Sundays at 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we do also have special editions of the Empower Room as well that we do periodically as well. And to give you a little information about the Empowering Moments, it's designed to promote Empower Media, LLC, by sharing cultural, civic, and inspirational moments with special guests from all over the world. And we truly do mean and have been all over the world. And we have some wonderful guests that we're going to share with you today. All right. And so Empower Media, LLC is a social empowerment entity. And we empower community through social and digital media, book publishing, and special engagements. We have over 25 years of doing presentations and customize it to your liking. If you would like to learn more about the services we provide, feel free to go to our website, which is MPWRLLC1.com. And as you can see, it's a play on words. It's MPWR Media LLC1.com is our website. And please go to our various pages. We do have a page that shares our services. Also, we have a store page and want to encourage you to check that out as well. Have a wonderful book that has been published in the blink of an eye that is available on our website as well. And you're able to purchase it on the website and get a signed copy by me, or you can also go through Amazon.com, and it shares my testimony of a afterlife experience I had where I literally had a sudden death heart attack and journeyed to a wonderful place. All right. So I'll leave it at that, and then want to encourage you to consider getting that book and learning more about the book on our website, and hope that you will consider purchasing it. All right. All right. So we have some outstanding guests this evening or today, and I wanted to really share this at this time with the special guests that we have today, and so grateful that they have agreed to be with us on today. We have some outstanding guests, as I stated. We have Ms.Charlotte Ottley here with Basic, and Basic Incorporated is Black Alcohol, Drug, and Service Information Center, and also she is also the creator of CMO-TWC, which is Transitional Women's Center, located in St. Louis, Missouri, and so grateful to have her. And she's also one of the board of directors for Basic. So let me bring her on at this time, Ms. Charlotte Ottley.
Hi, how are you?
How are you doing?
Hi, thank you. What an honor. It's such a privilege to meet you. I had read your book, and it was quite an honor. And
God bless you.
Your story is so motivating and so enlightening. And thank you for this opportunity to come and share our story with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we also have the founder and CEO of Basic also with us. Again, Basic stands for Black Alcohol, Drug, Service Information Center. So we're grateful to have Mr. Miller on with us as well. And I'll add him to the stream. And you're with us also, Mr. Miller?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Reverend. I really appreciate it. It's always an opportunity for us to share the information that we've garnered over the last 40 years, providing substance abuse services in the city of St. Louis, Louisiana, Arizona, DC. So we've been busy over the last 40 years.
Well, yes, you have. That's outstanding. That's outstanding. So, first off, with the pandemic, how you all been doing with all that's been going on? This has been going on over a year now. So, how have you all been doing?
It's been difficult, but exciting, because what you're trying to do is continue to provide the service to a population that really doesn't always have the equipment, the necessary equipment, through telehealth or through Zoom. But we've converted, and I would say at this point in time, we're probably about 54% of what we would really be doing. The holiday time, Reverend, is always a difficult time, because the numbers will drop and then they go back up. So our last review of the service we've been providing has been around 51 or 52%. And that we have two programs now. We got the program for the women, for the men, and we've got the program for the women in the CMO-TWC, the Charlotte, Merritt, Ottley Transitional Women's Center.
Okay.
It's one of the first. There are other programs in the city that say they provide services to women, but CMO-TWC is a specialty of gender specificity as far as dealing with women since 1994, when we were awarded the contract to provide services for women in the city of St. Louis.
I see, and I'm honored to have the author, if you will, the founder of that organization, and it being named after her, Ms.Charlotte Ottley, on with us. And Ms. Ottley, can you tell us more about the Transition Women's Center, and then I'll have Mr. Miller tell us more about BASIC.
Well, I think one of the motivations, and Oval, you chime in, is that in research, it showed that women have a much higher relapse rate with alcoholism than men do, and particularly African American women. And in some studies, it showed as high as 65% relapse rate in alcoholism in particular. And that is a particular concern. I mean, you have all the statistics of Black folks having this problem and that problem, and women who are the majority household heads.
Right.
We're chalked up to either being lazy, sleepy, tired, whatever excuse. And, oh, mommy's just tired. Oh, mommy's just whatever. But mommy's drunk.
Right.
Mommy's drugged.
Right.
And I was honored, and it's a humbling honor, because after working with Oval and the BASIC program since its inception, I was the first class that went through, because I had a family member who was impacted, and it just shocked the heck out of me. And I felt so helpless and wanted to learn more and more, and became more and more and more and more engaged. But with the women, Oval honored me after the years of working with him by dedicating the center in my name. Which made me, I've never been a user, I've never been an abuser of drug and alcohol abuse, use. But it was something that held me to a higher task. It made me feel that I had a special role to play in being a role model and getting my friends engaged, in looking at, we started our own resource center.
That's right.
So that families like me could learn more about it. So when I found out about your show through Jeffrey Connors, and particularly what Oval has educated me about how hard the holidays are for relapse, for other related illnesses, I said, Oval, we've got to hit the road. We've got to get some awareness going. We've got to try to interrupt this cycle of abuse. So I'm in and out of the cycle. I'm not full time like Oval is.
I see.
I'm an advocate.
Okay,
I'm an
that's wonderful.
advocate, and I'm
And
sort
that's
of a bossy advocate, right, Oval?
no, but understand, Reverend, that's
Okay.
necessary.
Right.
Let's go back. We started in April 19th, 1983.
Okay.
If you reflect back, that was during the period of time of the crack baby syndrome.
Yes, it was, right.
And women were being punished for having a substance abuse problem. So by 1988, Charlotte, if you remember, we collaborated with Washington University on a project called URSA, Effort to Reduce the Spread of AIDS in the city of St. Louis. Now, this was a 5-year program with a $6 million grant through WashU. So offices were set up. Now, this is the thing: 77% of all the female cases of AIDS in the city of St. Louis are represented by Black women.
Wow.
77%.
Wow.
We're still up in that percentile, even though there's been a drug now that's come up that will keep people alive.
Right.
But if you go back, and this is culturally sensitive.
Okay.
Black women enter treatment later on in the progression of the illness. They don't enter on early on.
Right.
They come in when families are fragmented, unemployed, involvement with the criminal justice system. Right. And anytime you don't have family support, your job is a little bit more difficult, because the person who's using is not using because they want to have some jovial, exciting lifestyle. They're in pain. Right. And they're using the drug. They're using the drug to medicate the symptoms.
I understand.
Black men are different than Black women. Areas of emotional pain associated with being a Black male, inability to identify hope, to sustain themselves. Women who find themselves in relationships with men just to survive. Then they got the children. So that's why at CMO-TWC, there's a daycare associated with it. We provide the bus passes and transportation.
Awesome.
And the thing, Reverend, that Charlotte didn't mention, but I'm going to mention it for her, we have the only viable, measurable alumnus that shows what we did that was a product and it was measurable. And this is what we're facing today, Reverend. We're facing programs popping up in our community, professing they're providing a service, but when you ask for the outcome, you don't get it.
Right, understand.
Right.
Yeah, that's outstanding. That's outstanding. Well, we're having a dialogue with Ms. Charlotte Ottley and Mr. Oval Miller of the Black Alcohol Drug Service Information Center, known as BASIC, in St. Louis, Missouri. And also they're in other places as well, as you have heard, outside of St. Louis. So that's good to know that you're in other cities and other states. So that's great. And also the Transitional Women's Center.
Yeah.
So again, so grateful to have them on and having this discussion. So what has the pandemic impacted substance abuse from what you all see? Do you see an impact from this pandemic as it relates to those caught up in alcohol and drugs?
Well, let me respond to say the pandemic has stymied us a lot of ways because the staff are fearful of becoming sick.
Understand.
You got a population that doesn't display a lot of real desire to do what? To get sober, to get clean, and do what? So if you don't have some other things on the back of that, employment opportunities, housing opportunities, assistance in paying rent that's in arrears, all those things have to be provided. And then having mentorship. See, it's not good enough just for one. But see, Charlotte represents what every Black female would like to have, and that is a career that's measurable. They would like to have that. So her responsibility always comes back to come and share with them how she got there and didn't get damaged by having a drug problem.
Understand.
Now my thing is totally different because I was addicted. I was addicted to heroin for over 13 years.
Wow.
I have been clean, absent of all mood altering chemicals for 40 years. So my task every day is to share with my people, with the fellows who come and the women, that this is how I did it. See, we shouldn't have these here, what fantasy ways of, well, so-and-so say, they stopped using it. How did you do it? There has to be a plan to get yourself out of that feeling of hopelessness. Because for 13 years, I was trying to medicate the pain of abandonment issues, rejection issues, abuse issues, grief, loss issues. Those are the things that people who come into our community, Reverend, must be willing to share and understand, not just come in here and put a program up and say, well, I got a program over here, I'm helping drug addicts. Well, where's your success rate at?
Okay, I understand. And I've heard a lot about your program when I was there in St. Louis too, and knew that it was well respected for sure in the community. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Well, one of the things, let me piggyback what Oval said. Oval has, and this is documented as well, the largest alumni.
Right.
See, once people have gone through our program, we don't leave them. And they don't leave us. They stay in contact with us no matter where they are in the United States. And we can find them. They come back to us. They continue to volunteer. They continue to serve as role models. I've actually
and pay their dues.
And I've actually been in restaurants, and the women in our program practice anonymity. And they actually write on my receipt. I don't know them, but they know me, and they'll write on a receipt when when I'm ready to check out.
Right.
I'm a CMO girl.
Oh,
and I have actually sat in restaurants, and tears came down my cheeks that we are transitioning people back into the workforce, back into their families, back into their communities, back into being contributing members as voters, as mothers, as going back and getting their education and their degrees.
There you go, Charlotte.
So that's what transitional women. Everybody can have a 12-step program, and everybody can talk about rehab, etc. We've made a commitment to transition you through the drug programs, drug and the rehab programs. And we take rehab very seriously. People travel from all over the country.
Right. Wow.
All over the country. Judges, doctors, lawyers, and their children.
Police
come to us.
Policemen.
Because we're secure, we're private.
Okay.
We protect their privacy.
Yes.
And we have relationships with the medical community that we can get them through their detox programs. Oval, you taught me well. I'm talking too much. I'm just trying to say that our transition, Reverend, is the key here.
Okay,
because anybody has a drug program.
Right. Yeah.
We have a transitional program and an alumni program.
Okay.
And we don't let you go.
Yeah,
because it isn't a fix. It is not a quick fix.
No.
Right.
And
so how long would you say the process is for someone that is dealing with the substance abuse? How long does the program's transition process?
Now I'm so glad you asked that, because people sometimes they get confused about it. Okay. Recovery from my heroin addiction or anybody else's does not start in treatment. Treatment gives you the necessary tools that will allow you to come back into your community and work your program to remain abstinent from all mood-altering chemicals.
I see. Okay.
What happens if you don't have a culture-specific treatment model? Then you're going to miss something. Let me say this quickly and be respectful of time.
No problem.
counseling, culture, when we say we're culturally sensitive or culturally specific, that is based upon an individual's behavior and how they solve problems. Each culture has a different way of interacting with each other, communicating with each other. In the city of St. Louis, cultures change from one block to the next. How people communicate. You can be on this block, hey dog, what's going on? In the next block, some of you say that, hey OG, you didn't create a controversy.
Right.
If we accept the fact that culture can be measured and defined as ways of solving problems and behavior, then how do you justify treatment, which is the counseling part, if you don't know the person's culture or understand the gender areas of emotional pain? How can you provide treatment?
Interesting. See, that's interesting. I like what you're saying right there. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
We have to be able to validate a person's culture. This is how we saw. I was raised differently than Charlotte. I was raised differently. I'm 76 years old, so I came up during another era.
Okay.
But I have to respect the young people's era in this new millennium that we're in right now with the young people. They don't have respect of elders or respect of, they don't trust us. They feel like we got ours and left them.
Right. Okay.
And so we have to be able to go back and hold that door open. We have, Charlotte didn't mention, and I know it's just an oversight on her part, we have the only training program in the city. All of our counselors, 90% of our counselors are products of the program who completed it, went back to school, we have our own training coordinator to train these individuals to become professionals with license that's recognized in 47 states.
Wow. That's phenomenal. That's
Reverend,
phenomenal. That's good information right there.
Somebody had to go in, like the schools. These kids are coming in with human resource degrees, sociology degrees. But they're based on white middle-class American males. They're not based on us.
Right.
We have to be able to validate the importance of us as a people. We got areas of emotional pain. We suffer from black double consciousness. Yes. How I see myself versus how other people see me. Cultural schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Those are the things that we have to focus on and not be ashamed that we ask the client, hey, bruh, hey, sister, how you feel about being black?
Right.
And be ready to respond when they say they don't know or come up with some answer that's not grounded in any reality. Right. It's difficult. You can't be no sissy or no weak person and say you black. You have to deal with all of those obstacles that we face. Racial self-hatred.
Yes.
Racial self-hatred.
Isn't that something? This is phenomenal. I thank you all for coming on. I think this is definitely a valuable dialogue that we're having. Again, we're in the Empire Room speaking with Mr. Miller and Ms. Ottley with BASIC, which BASIC is Black Alcohol Drug Service Information Center, and also the Charlotte Merritt Ottley Transitional Women's Center, located in St. Louis at 3654 South Grand Boulevard. And so grateful to have them on with us in this dialogue. It's rich, and felt that we needed to definitely have a dialogue with this, especially during the holiday season. And that takes me to my next question. So what suggestions would you have for those struggling with substance abuse, especially during this season?
Well, one of the things that happens is that we have to give some credence to. People don't want to continue a life of chaos. They want to change. Okay. See, a lot of my peers say, "Well, man, they don't want to change." That's not true. They don't know how to change. And change into what? Change into what? I was talking with some people, Charlotte, some of the peers the other day about job employment. They said, "Well, man, the people in the program, they don't want to work." That's not true. But if you offer me a job and tell me my first payday is 2 weeks from now, how do I survive that? How do I survive? You offered me a job on Monday and you tell me it's going to be 2 Mondays before you get your first check. how do I survive that? How do I eat? How do I pay my my room bill? We have to take into account that people want to change, but they don't know how to change. And if you can give them a plan, we call it a post-discharge plan for recovery, how to stay involved and what to do with it. We provide the toys for the kids. Charlotte, you know, every Christmas we got toys for the kids, but they need more than just toys. You know, they need to have some belief that things are going to be better, and that life is going to change. When Charlotte brought Miss Reva from California the other day, those women were so impressed and so proud that that Charlotte was bringing professional women. We've had professional women from all over doing. We did a conference out in Las Vegas.
Wow.
A community-based program. Charlotte, she mentioned it a few minutes ago about how alcohol drug treatment will travel. That's what you were making reference when we say when we're in other parts of the country. We are Arizona, Arkansas, Louisiana, and we got alumnus from those areas that continue to feed in. But that's what I want the Black community to validate. I want our Black ministers to realize that when we come into the church, like we've been in Louisiana and North County, that we're not taking people from the church. Part of our recovery is the spirituality. Is the need to recognize and embrace a God of your understanding. So we buy into that. It's not just people coming listening, it's people coming and participating. Charlotte, let me say this. Mr. McDonald at McDonnell Douglas was one of our first and primary seed funders. Wow. Monsanto funders, Mallinckrodt funders, Anheuser-Busch funders. Okay. So did they give us money because they cared and concerned about? No. They gave us money because they looked at the track record and say this is a program that we can fund and not feel like that they've been taken advantage of. Right. We just have to get ourselves to the point that we are responsible to our people. Right. Our people. You know, and so I know I'm going on and on, Charlotte.
But you know what I want you to do before our time is up? Every holiday is going to have fights. One of the biggest killers of police is trying to stop domestic crimes.
Okay, right. That's true.
More people get killed by each other, family members, because what happened to Marvin Gaye. I mean, drinking too much, drugging too much, and getting out of control, and one person saying, "Let me just put you out of your misery." I'm simplifying it, but I'm just saying. I'm not trivializing it. I'm saying, with the holidays coming, the agony over that personal thing of I'm not enough, causing the heart attacks and the high blood pressures and the strokes. That's one piece. But I'm willing to bet you one of those contributing factors is somebody in that household triggering some stress out of their own stress triggered by alcoholism and drug abuse. And we don't know how to respond to that. Here we're having a nice dinner party and Uncle drug alcohol person. Right. You say one thing, somebody sitting in his chair, or somebody forgot to call his name. Right. And all of a sudden he blows up. And now that ruins the whole dinner. How do we deal with him?
See, Black men have an issue with other Black men who are successful. Black women also have a difficult time with men who are not able to provide and protect.
Exactly.
So that's why I always tell them, I said, when you identify a man that you say you want to be with, make sure he has husband qualities. Right. Because husband comes from the word husbandry, which means protector and provider of more than one. Right. Okay. If you take a wife, my first 2 marriages ended because I was irresponsible. Okay. Now, if you go back and say, well, wait a minute, you admit, yeah, I was irresponsible, but it wasn't like I knew how to do something different. I was acting out how my daddy acted out.
Okay.
We learn our parenting skills from our parents.
Right.
So if you don't ever, if we don't start talking about how to relate to each other intimately, not sexually, but intimately, then we're gonna have a problem.
Right.
But see, very few Black men want to admit that we don't know how to do that. And when our woman tries to tell us how to be sensitive, then we feel like she's being mean to us. So those are the kind of educational sessions that we got to have. This guy, a woman knows she ain't supposed to be using no drugs. She got to go through all sorts of changes to get that drug. Right. But if she wait, the first day I woke up, Reverend, didn't have that addiction on my back, was the greatest day in my life. Greatest day.
Wow.
Because it controlled everything. How I responded to my children, how I interacted with people. See, this is what I want the community to see. There is an answer. You're not a bad person. You got bad behavior, and that can be changed.
Right.
But you're not a bad person.
Right. They just need the tools to be able to transition out of that. And you guys provide. Yeah.
And trust.
Okay.
I mean, that's the hardest thing for us to do is trust someone.
Right.
But they gotta be able to come back. Like when they CMO-TWC, they come back and they see these woman that wrote 3 books. Went back to school and got a master's degree in human resources, raised their children. Their children have respect for them. That's what they got to be able to see.
Understand. That's outstanding. It's good to know that you all use that intentionality to be able to provide that type of service for people that are in need, for sure. So how can people get in contact with you with Basic?
Well, our number is 314-621-9009. And we're open from 8:30 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. Services run 5 days a week. It will probably go to 6 days a week based on this new virus that's coming out. Hopefully that it won't spread any faster. They just found out it's in San Francisco.
Right, I heard it. They just found it in California. Yeah, I heard that.
Right. So we've got all of our security stuff in place, the sanitation of the clients, checking on temperature and all that.
Right.
But when they call, we can either do a virtual assessment. If they don't have transportation, we'll send a cab for them or bus tokens. I believe in treatment on demand. If you ask for help, you shouldn't be put off a week or 2 days, 3 days. We send somebody for you.
Okay, that's good. Right on the spot. That's
right on the spot. We'll send somebody for you. And if you're a woman and you got children, we're gonna take care of that. If you're a man, because we encourage the men to participate.
And I think that we, the community, and the family, have an equal responsibility.
Okay.
Because if we don't understand that cycle of abuse, we contribute to it.
Right.
And we make it even worse.
Right.
Because we respond to them normally. And it's not that we're supposed to respond to them in an abnormal way, but we keep thinking we can talk to them rationally as though we're going to get an instant rational response. And that doesn't work.
That's right.
And so we have to educate ourselves and the community. We're sending them back to communities that haven't changed.
That's right.
Their buddies are still standing on the corner.
That's right.
There's still joblessness. There's still churches that won't accept them.
True.
There are people who have not changed, and we've changed them. So education in the communities, the first gift that Basic gave me was the Charlotte Ottley Resource Center.
That's right.
Where you could come in as a community and see videos and read about the disease so that you could modify you. See, change isn't just with the abuser, it's with us who surround them too.
true.
exactly
Yeah,
right.
I'm with you on
Because
that. Yeah,
we're enabling that behavior. We're
yes.
making them feel inferior too.
Right,
We're
right.
putting them down. We're
That's a good
wanting them to man up or
Right.
woman up. To what?
point.
Go
Mhm.
where?
Right.
Right.
Where are
You-
they getting the money? Where are
That's
they
right.
getting so many things? We've got to ask ourselves what
Mm.
role and what responsibility we have to own
That's
in
right.
where they are today. And that continues to be my challenge.
Yeah,
Continues
So it
to
sounds
be
like
my
it takes a
challenge.
village.
I know
It takes a
we
village.
may be running out of time. Let me say this.
Okay, Mr. Miller.
Charlotte was the one that initiated the gospel concert that we had at the Sheldon Memorial Hall every year,
Okay.
and had some of the greatest singers, and then we had our own choir. Uh,
Okay.
uh, I remember the celebration we had at the 5-star at the Ritz-Carlton.
Oh, wow.
The Ritz-Carlton, Charlotte organized this. We had a head table of 50 people, and had the heavyweight champion of the world, had Ozzie Smith,
Okay.
Mr. McDonald from McDonald Douglas. All
Okay.
these people came out, and I allowed them to see the product. This is
Wow.
what you've invested in the city.
Right, right.
This is what we did with our money.
Okay.
98% employment, 85% voters participation. That's what I think we should challenge every program that says they come to city to help us with a healthcare situation.
Mhm.
Challenge them to produce a product.
Mhm.
Challenge them. And I think the community has to stand up and say, well, look, you just got $2 million last year. What did you do with it?
Right,
How many
right.
people's lives changed?
Right, right.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, that is. That's fair. That's fair indeed. That's fair indeed. Yes, it is. Well, do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to share? We're going to go ahead and wrap up. It's been a very fruitful and rich dialogue in regard to substance abuse awareness, and I'm so glad you all were able to come on representing patients.
One thing, Reverend, that Owen would say, that night that he talks about the Ritz-Carlton, everybody thought we were crazy, that I was doing an event at the Ritz-Carlton, and he was there with dope things. And I said, if they had money, what were the tickets, $100?
$100 a piece.
$100. I said, they'd have $100 to buy drugs in a week.
That's right.
Let them go find it so that they could come out and support themselves. And they did. And they rented tuxedos.
That's right.
They rented tuxedos.
Awesome.
And this was the first time they interacted with some of the VIPs.
That's
They
right.
felt inferior about it. We put a book together. They went around and got autographs and everything that night.
Maxine Waters attended one of the women's conferences. The mayor's wife, Miss McLeod, these women organized. See, that's why it wasn't a risk to get behind CMO-TWC, because the women had already proven they wanted to be in control of their own destiny. We were not allowed to participate in that. They organized beautiful evening dresses, beautiful hats, and had it out at one of the 5-star hotels. But
wow.
So we don't have to enclose it. We don't have to lower our expectations.
No, we don't.
We got to live up to each other, because we're still human beings.
Yes,
we still love each other. That's that person you're cussing and fighting with. You still love them. You still care about them.
Exactly.
We just got to get on the same page.
That's
and they're sick, and we can't make ourselves sicker. And we've got to find that transitional point for both of us. And basic all over the country is the place that I found traveling all over the country. And our proof of performance is there. Call the number, go on our website, get to know us.
That's right.
Get through this holiday safer. And we're open and we've been in business since the 80s. So it's not that we're going out. We're here.
Right.
We do speaking engagements, whatever you need.
Seasoned saints.
Well, Reverend, the excitement about working with Charlotte, we went to Washington, D.C. and went to all the representatives and let them know that we were here and we weren't going anywhere. And those representatives, it always goes back. The light at the end of the tunnel is real. We got to keep it blinking so the person will keep focused on going in that direction. God will provide a way for us. You know, my prayer 40 years ago, as I laid in the bed at St. John's Mercy Hospital in the treatment program, and my roommate says, "Man, you really must want to change." I said, I got to change. If I don't, I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to survive. I asked God for sobriety and to clean my life up. Sobriety and to clean my life up. And if he would grant me that, I would spend the rest of my life helping others not go through what I had gone through. I am 76 years old. That was 40 years ago. God kept his promise to me, and I kept mine.
Right. Amen, amen, amen. And you look wonderful. I would never have guessed you were 76. So that's outstanding. He's doing a fantabulous job with you.
He's using me in the right way, Reverend.
Yes, he is. Well, hey, I want to thank you all so much for coming on with us and sharing information about basic Black Alcohol, Drug, and Service Information Center in St. Louis, and also the Charlotte, Merritt, Ottley Transitional Women's Center located in St. Louis, Missouri at 3654 South Grand Boulevard. Their phone number is on the screen at 314-621-9009, and their website is basicinc.org. That's basicinc.org. So I want to encourage anyone definitely in the St. Louis area. And as you can hear, they are able to talk to anyone, any person, anyone, anywhere. And I'm sure they will be able to provide you with direction and assistance and in whatever situation you may be experiencing, especially during this holiday season. I want to thank you all again for coming on. Definitely want to have this dialogue during the holiday season. You know, we know it's a joyous time for some, but then for others, it's not. And I thought this was a perfect discussion for us to have during this holiday season. So again, thank you again, Ms. Ottley. Thank you again, Mr. Miller. God bless you all in your efforts and what you're doing and what you have been doing. And I pray God will continue to bless you.
Yes, thank you, Reverend. Appreciate it. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, Charlotte, for including me in it.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. God bless you all. Take care.
God bless you. Bye.
All right.
Welcome to the Empower Room Welcome to the Empower Room for Empowering Moments with your host, Timothy Hughes. Empowering Moments is brought to you by Empower Media, LLC, where we empower you, parents, and the entire community with transformative information to move mind and spirit to a higher state of well-being. So welcome to the Empower Room, and let's get started. Thank you for joining us in the Empower Room. Hope you have received some impactful information. Please like or leave a comment. See you next week in the Empower Room, brought to you by Empower Media LLC and your host, Reverend Timothy Hughes, aka Rev.T.